So today we've got for you a Globecar Summit Shine, the 540 model. When we come into the front, we've got our fuel filler system. With the Euro 6, you've got the AdBlue as well. The AdBlue is monitored by a digital dash display. Ignition key in to release. Globecar are fairly unique amongst the manufacturers. They don't put toolkit underneath here. It's in a separate box elsewhere. You've got some access for the 12 volt and main systems underneath. And then your engine battery is located underneath the cover at the front. Bonnet release on there. There's no spare wheel on this model, so you've got a reflation kit to utilise instead. When we go under the bonnet, just pull up on the lever in the middle and pull up your bonnet stock. Over on the left hand side, you've got your screen wash. This is a new Series 8 model, so you've got electric assist steering, so you've only got a brake fluid and a radiator reservoir. Oil filler, no dipstick, monitored electronically. If you ever need to jump start the vehicle, because of the position of the battery, your negative goes down onto there and the positive goes underneath and onto that clamp just there. Come round onto the driver's side and you've got your electric step control just inside the door. Two hands are recommended for using the fly screen. And this has a soft close feature, so when you bring the door shut, it will close the remainder before you can lock the vehicle. When we move into the back of the van, you've got your gas locker that's just in at the back here. Straightforward 6 kilogram propane cylinder, turn off and turn on via the brass valve on top, and it's left hand thread with a gas spanner to remove, and that then feeds the gas through all the way into the rest of the vehicle. Freshwater filler cap is located back on the passenger side. Put the key in, turn the cap and pop out, and hose pipe straight in. Insert the key back in and then relock. When you move into the back of the vehicle, just underneath the bed, there's an inspection hatch which you can lift off. There's a little black tap which can be opened. If you take it to 2 turns, it will drain the whole tank down completely, but if you want to put it into a travel position, then you can take it down to 20%. There's also an inspection hatch into there, so if you want any solvents or cleaners for cleaning out the tank, then you can do it that way. Ventilation exhaust for the water heating, room heating system, and below that you've got your toilet cassette. With the lever shut properly, you should be able to pull up on the lime green valve and then slide the whole body of the cassette out. You'll have sluices on site for these to go into. So when you take the black cap off completely, tip the whole thing up, press in your green button at the top, and that should allow the waste to come out. About a teacup full of base chemical. You can use the sachets or the pods. We always recommend the greens for the Highlands for the environment. And about 2 litres of water, and then slide the body of the cassette back in, and it should lock back into position. Directly below that, there's an Allen key that we'll provide, and that then gives you your open close lever for your wastewater outlet. Mains hookup plugged in alongside. Always recommend that you connect to the side of the van first of all before you connect to your mains supply. That way you're not taking a live lead across the site. So plug in, push in nice and firmly, and then go and connect to your mains supply. So with internal mains supply, if you're connecting up, then you would have connected up from the outside. There is a mains switch in here. At the moment it's leaning over towards the left, which means that the power supply is on. If I flip it over towards the right, then that turns that supply off. You can do a test to see if the supply is coming in by pushing in on the test switch, and that indicates that you've got a good main supply coming through. So we'll turn that back on. Next door to that, you've got a bank of 12 volt fuses. They are very faintly labelled with a raised profile telling you what those fuses are connected up, but they deal with the interior lights, the water pumps, etc. within the van. So we've moved into the side of the van and we're now looking at 12 volt control panels. These panels are located above the sliding door. To turn on your 12 volt system, you'll need to press this button here, and immediately you'll see your date and time clock as well as your interior and exterior temperatures. If you want to adjust or change the time clock, you'll need to press the home button for a few seconds, and you should see a line appear underneath the clock, and then you can then use the buttons below to increase or down spout on the clock settings until it comes back through. Indicators for your fresh water, press it once for your fresh water supply, press it again for the grey water supply. Similar story with the battery level indicator. You'll see it's for the habitation side of it shown now, and then for the vehicle side of it thereafter. This will simply just adjust the brightness of this display, so maybe at night time you might want to fade it down a little. Separate switch for your interior 12-volt switch, one for the interior lights. This one will activate your fridge control panel, which will turn on, and then if you turn off from there, again, it'll shut all of the 12-volt system down. Truma system, there is a thermostatic drain valve on this one, which we've shut and closed. When you press the home screen button, it should come up with your Truma display. Very simple and straightforward to set up. You can start off by setting up the room climate control. Choose that you want it as heating, and then you can increase or decrease the settings for the room temperature. There is a fast mode where obviously it will react and heat up more quickly than the comfort mode, and you can change the energy source from either gas or a combination of electric settings if that's required, or if you're wild camping, just a pure gas mode, or likewise if you don't want to use the gas, you can use a pure electric mode accordingly. Press your return and you'll see the corresponding symbols arise. Because it's in the heating mode, you'll likely hear a fan cut in as it increases or decreases that temperature. Turn off the heating mode by just tapping on the hot button, and you'll see that it goes away from that symbol there. For the hot water, you can turn it on, and you can increase it to either a 40 or a 60 degree setting, and again use a combination of either gas or electric, subject to the availability of resources and the resources that you want to utilize. Very intuitive, very straightforward to use. There are other settings which you can go into. There is an option of putting it onto your smartphone if you want to, but if you stick with the basic format, then it should take you through and be easy and straightforward to utilize. When you want to turn it off, go to the off button. You need to put it into a standby mode, or if you want to shut it down completely, press the off button and it will take you through an off sequence and shut down. We've already turned on the 12-volt supply to the fridge, and that's the only function that these fridges work with by turning on the frost symbol on the main 12-volt control panel. So now when we want to increase or decrease the temperature of the fridge, then we just go to the thermostat symbol. The more of these lines that are illuminated, the colder it will become. It's in performance mode at the moment, which means you'll probably hear the compressor running. Overnight, you can change it to a quiet mode, or if there's a sudden temperature change, then you can also boost the performance of the fridge, and you'll see it increase as well. Any faults with the 12-volt supply, and you'll likely see a warning light come on. You can isolate separately and turn off by holding in on this button for a couple of seconds, and that will shut off the 12-volt control panel for the fridge. This Truma 6E is fitted with a thermostatic drain valve. In the event of the air temperature in this space going below 2 degrees centigrade, then this valve will automatically open and cause water to discharge underneath the fan. To reset it, you'll need to do two things. You'll need to turn it back. It needs to be plus about 8 degrees in this cavity. And there is also a secondary button which needs to be pushed back in, and that locks and shuts the valve. You'll need to reprime the system by turning on the water pump and turning on the hot water supply and drawing it through all of the taps in the van. For the use of the Dometic toilet, so seat up, you'll need to pull the lever forward so that your waste can go through. It's an electric flush drawing water from your onboard freshwater tank, so depress onto that and you'll see water going around the inside of the bowl. Slide over, stopping smells or odours from coming back up through. If the cassette's not installed properly, you'll see an indicator light coming on here. When it's approaching half full, you'll get a warning, and then obviously once it needs to be full and it's emptied, you'll get a second warning light to come on at the top. Just underneath the bed, you've got two gas valves, one for the hob and one for the water heating, room heating system. They're in the vertical position at the moment, which means you've got the gas supply coming through. I'd always recommend that you switch off at the bottle, but if you wanted to isolate individual supplies to appliances, then you could do so. It's a button operated electronic igniter, so push down and hold down for a couple of seconds. On a bright sunny day, it can be quite difficult to see the flame, so anybody coming into the van needs to be careful, and there's no isolators on these lids, so if this is brought down over the flame, it will continue to burn and it will cause the glass to explode. So make sure everything is cooled down properly before you fold the glass away. So moving ourselves into the cab, we've got cab lines on the windows, bring them all the way back round, and there's a little latch for it to sit back into to protect it. And then a central blind comes up all the way to the top of the screen for the front. Electric mirror controls are located onto the driver's side, so you can use the little toggle to move it around into the position of the mirror that you want to utilise, and with the power on it'll operate, and you have your electric window and a central locking button located just there. This vehicle is fitted with auto stop start, so when the vehicle engine is warm and you approach a set of traffic lights and come to a halt, the engine will cut out. You may want to disable that so that it's done from there. Fog lamp and headlamp beam adjustment to ratio with the weight within the vehicle. Stalk controls for your wash and for your screen. Turn the dial around for your different wiper positions and then pull back for your screen wash. And then you've got side and dipped headlamps located over onto this side along with the stalk. Steering wheel controls, so this is all connected up to the Kenwood unit that's been fitted. You have two buttons on the back, one of which is for the volume control and the other one is for your digital radio station controls and retuning. You've also got cruise control and a limiter settings onto there as well. You can only start the vehicle with the lever into the park mode, down into reverse, and you'll get your reverse image come up on your screen when the head unit is on. Neutral, if you need to maneuver the vehicle without the vehicle being into gear, and then obviously drive mode at the base. There is an option to use it in a manual sequential mode, and it will go up and down through the gears by you pulling back or pushing up onto the lever. Drive modes are available. They have a normal, an eco and a power mode, which change the performance and change the downshift ratios. Typical mechanical handbrake. Hill descent and traction controls are available. An interior central locking button as well as heated mirrors, and then your ventilation controls in conjunction with your air conditioning. USB charging points are here, and then there's an additional USB port that's been connected up for the Kenwood media system up in the middle. So that concludes the handover for your Globecar Summit Shine 540. Sincerely hope you're going to enjoy this new van. It's going to give you lots of miles and lots of smiles. On behalf of Heineken Camper Vans, thank you very much for watching.